Hello, hello, my little soul loves. It's Kimberly with Celestial Juju. And we got more juju going on. Yes, we do. Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces. Yeah, and when Saturn moves, it stays in a house somewhere between 2.5, 2.7, almost 3-ish years, somewhere in there, between 2.5 to 3 years. Depends if there's any retrogrades going on or not. So this is not just like a fly by the night transit. This is an energy we're going to be in for that long. So where this is bringing the discipline into your life and the theme of the house that will be affected by this and how humanity will be affected. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about that energy of that. So Saturn's been in Aquarius for the last 2 years, no longer than that, because the last 2 houses he was in were houses that Saturn rules, which are Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, so he is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, the cosmic ruler maker. So he's been in that energy. Okay, he's the cosmic ruler, the trades. It's like he's had his Aquarian lab coat on, and now he's moving. He's changing that for his flippers, and he's diving into the water and moving in with Pisces. So for the past 6 years, he's traveled through the signs of the of Capricorn, of Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay. So he was there from 2017, Capricorn, to 20, and then 20 to 23, he was in Aquarius. So we know during some of the times and what's happened during that time. So why it's the planet of boundaries, there's also empowerment that can be at its best because it can set the rules and restrictions. And in Pisces, it's going to build foundations a little bit different than it has before. Okay. I'm going to jump real fast on you all into the fact that this Virgo full moon is happening on the same day. So there's also a Virgo full moon, and when Saturn moves into Pisces, so they both have a significant energetic implications for the collective. There's some Virgo's also associated with practicality, organizations, and attention to detail. And so this lunar phase is going to be a good time to focus on getting things done and making progress towards your goals. And with the energy of that Virgo full moon, it's going to help the collective be more productive, which means you. So the houses that this is going to fall in will make you be more productive in those houses. So utilize that energy because this is going to be setting this energy for you. So moving from the Aquarius into Pisces marks a significant shift in the way the collective approaches boundaries, because the Pisces boundaries are, it's a water sign, and the limitations. So the Aquarius is air sign. It's more mental. During it being in Aquarius, I got to slow down. Let's take a breath. I got so much to tell you about. Okay. So it was associated with freedom and innovating and breaking through old structures. And so why it's in Pisces, it's going to be associated with intuition, compassion, and emotional depth. So as Saturn moves from Aquarius into the Piscean energy, there's going to be it's going to give Piscean the energy of more boundaries, and to establish boundaries and limitation, but also expansion with it at the same time. So the combination, it's going to be like walking on water in that expansion, the boundaries, the unlimitedness of the energy. And it's also going to bring up awareness with with your boundaries, also health and the balance, just the balance of life in general, and what structures may not be serving you anymore, as they expand out. It's kind of like a water balloon that can take in so much water and then it's going to, pop. Okay. So it can bring up a shift in the collective. I could put these on, and the approaches of our social justice and activism. Activism. Okay. Pisces is associated with empathy, compassion, and Saturn moves through this sign. The collective may find they're more motivated to work towards creating more than just a suitable society, but one that can have a greater focus on issues such as environmental, sustainability, healthcare, and social welfare. Okay. Overall, the energy of this move, especially with this full moon enhancing it, the Pisces is likely to be practical and efficient with compassion and focus on well-being and justice. The collective may find that we're more motivated to get things done and connect with emotions and intuition and work toward creating a more sustainable world. So yay, let's hope that happens. Yeah, we're all here for that, right? Isn't that what we're all here for? Okay. So as it hits this energy, it is the oceans of undoing. So Saturn can make changes in the technology, in the culture, and even pharmaceuticals, and the energy that's going to be coming in with that. I know y'all don't want to hear it again, but the AI stuff too, and how humanity's going to use the AI in order to enhance itself. So those energies are going to be there as we move through this. We're going to see the energies and the changes in that. So that's the structure. It's like it's going to bring the balance. It's like this precision and the balance into this. Because in this last hour before moving, into this energy, the last time that it was in this energy was in the mid-90s. So looking back over that time period, it gave us insight that we can expect in these coming years. Okay, so during that previous tour, there was a significant way in technology, how the internet became mainstream, and that we're beginning to see the impact on that on the world. I mean, we have for a while now. So it's going to bring, that's where I was talking about the AI and some of the shifts. There's going to be some shifts in spirituality. When Saturn's there, it can bring in new cults, but it can also destroy, energies that has controlled the mind of man with what has been called spirituality. Okay. So there's going to be some, you want to call it awakenings with that type of energy too. More fluid energy, but don't be surprised if you don't see a rise in, like I said, in cult type energy. But there'll be, people are getting, I really feel like that it's a time for us to go in to our own heart, and that as we awaken, that's what we're here, to do. So when we watch the structures collapse, then we know that all that we have done during these time periods, that that it's really happening. So it's like, see it as, oh yay, it's really happening, that we've done all of this work, and there'll be a greater sense of accountability of the spiritual path, not just handing it over to something outside of yourself, but accountability to yourself. And you'll be forced to confront the beliefs in the way that is, and do those beliefs really sustain you? Okay. Let's see what else What else did we see during this time period? So it's going to be, shaping the future and the dreams to come true ahead. Okay, what else happened in the other times it's been in here? 30 before okay, these are the dates. It was there in February 35 to 37. And then again from October 37 to 28 in March 64 to September 64. So some of the things that happened during those time periods, there were several things happen in the 30s. There was like the Dust Bowl. There was, erosion of planet Earth. There's been changes that happened because of that. So there was poverty. There was, migration because of that. There was the rise of fascism in Europe. There was the Ethiopian-Italian War. Okay, there was a Spanish Civil War. That's the stuff that happened in the 30s. I think also Social Security, somewhere in there, Social Security was formed in the United States. Let's see what happened in from 93 to 96. Some of you all may remember those years. The transit. There was the Senate passed some commissions over violent video games. There was a violent video game called Mortal Kombat. And they passed some things against that because they believed that that was in the mind of the teenagers and that it was doing things to children. So that's interesting because we're seeing where they're trying to pass some stuff on books and things like that now. So there was some things like that was going on during that time period. What else happened during that? Okay. Okay. So dreaming in yourself, and that's just to know what has happened before and what the energies can be. And what we're going to when we look back, okay, let's see what happened in 64. Here we are. I finally found it. Civil rights movement happened during that time period, which aimed the end of segregation and discrimination in the United States. Well, it was supposed to end it. Okay, so that was a significant time in the African American communities. I don't even know what it's politically correct to say anymore. So there was, Vietnam was going on during that time period. And there was a freedom of speech movement that happened at University of California at Berkeley, where students protest against the university policies. And there was a lot of stuff that happened during that. There was the Olympics of 64 that was held in Japan. Oh, and it was the Beatles invasion. That's the other thing that happened in 64. One of the most influential bands, and in the energy that came from that in the music and the arts. So there were some good things that happened here and there. So that's that dreamy Piscean energy. I mean, the Beatles are like a perfect example of that, and the energy that they brought in, into the structure, and people just like losing their minds with all of it, that they had never seen anything like this before. Okay, so let's see, 95. What else happened in 95 besides the things with the games? It was the end of the apartheid in South Africa. O.J. Simpson trials. And the North American Free Trade Agreement happened during that time period. Okay. So that's where we've been in the past. So we can take that energy and what are we going to dream? What are we going to dream into this world now? Where are we going to take our Piscean energy, our accumulated knowledge, and dream this into into how we want to express this. Because when, we can look at the lower expressions of Pisces, which can be procrastination, denial, self-sabotage, self-pity, blame. It can get lost into the martyr energy. So the Saturn should help support that and bring that structure in to, not embody that, but to bring that into a more like energy of letting go and being responsible of manage your feelings and not getting so lost into the emotions of the collective. It can be a roll of dice with that. It's like as we face our realities and the emotions and spirituality and the imagination, as it's a time to step up and take charge of our lives, and no more excuses for hiding the truth. It's a time to reflect what's truly serves us, the energy that truly serves us. What else have I got here? Okay. The higher good and the means of life, and how life is filled with purpose. What is your destiny? Connect to your own destiny within your heart. It's a perfect time to go in and dream that, and dream in the energy of what you're bringing here to earth, and remember and how to bring the harmony and balance and peace. And it's a time to awaken to the magic within. It's like it's a time for that to express and to bring beauty and love into the world. It has all of that energy to it. Okay, so like I said, we're going to see lots of downloads coming into humanity's mind. I know I've had them all this week already. It's like building up to it. And that what the energies have been for me during that time. Okay, so let's get on with these energies and what this is here for the collective and for you as the individual. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't find my little thing with all my houses. I know it's in your first house at Pisces. We're going to start with you. So we're going to do this ass backwards, because you're first, because it's all about you right now, because that's where it's moving the energy into. So it's going to be in your first house, Pisces. It's going to be all about the energy of that for you. Okay. So it could lead to a reserved or serious demeanor. It can also bring a strong sense of empathy and compassion for others. Well, you already embody that. So this transit can be a time of self-discovery and personal growth. You may need to confront your own fears and insecurities in order to build a stronger sense of self. And Saturn in your first house can help you become more disciplined and focused, which can lead to greater success in your personal and professional life. So this is associated with your identity and self-expression. And you may need to, well, I already said that, you may need to confront your fears and insecurities, even around that, or around your self-expression and your own sense of self. And so this placement may require that you work on developing a greater self-confidence. And it may require you to establish healthy boundaries, Pisces. So those aches and pains in your body are showing you it's like, where are things out of alignment? Okay, healthy boundaries in your personal and professional relationships. Okay. Oh, sun, moon, and rising is what we're doing here. So, second house, Aquarius. It's going to be in your second house. This could lead to a practical approach of finances, discipline, approach to earning and saving money. Saturn in this house for you during Pisces may bring a greater stability and a security. Focus on greater stability and security. You may need to be more disciplined in your spending and saving habits. You may need to confront any patterns of self-sabotage or avoidance when it comes to money in this house. Okay. It can be a time of financial and material stability. Well, I already said that, didn't I? And you may need to work on to build this solid foundation for your financial future. But the rewards can be significant if you do this structure and bring this energy in. And the transit can be a time of self-worth, self-esteem, and you can learn to value yourself and your abilities more highly, okay? So Capricorn is going to be in your third house. This may lead to a structured and disciplined approach in communication and learning. But it may also indicate tendency toward anxiety or worry. You may need to work on developing better communication skills, and you may feel the need to confront your fears or insecurities related to speaking your truth. The placement may also bring the need for more structure and discipline when it comes to learning. Let me move this over. When it comes to learning and education, it can be a time of increased communications and networking. You may need to work harder to build a strong relationships with others, but the effort will be worth it. This transit can also be time of learning of personal growth. Okay? Like self-discovery type personal growth classes as you expand your knowledge and explore new ideas. Okay, Sagittarius, it's in your fourth house. It may lead to a deeper connection to family, to home, but also indicates strict or reserved approach to domestic matters. You may need to bring more emotional stability and require you to confront any patterns of avoidance or escapism related to family and home life. You may feel the need to work on establishing healthy boundaries within the family. It can be a time of emotional healing and personal growth, and you may need to confront and work through past traumas in order to build a stronger foundation for your future. This transit can also be a time of increased focus on the family and home time as you seek to create stable and nurturing environment. Scorpio, it's your fifth house. This may lead to disciplined approach in creative or artistic pursuits. It may also indicate the tendency to be too hard on oneself of matters of self-expression. You may need to confront any fears and insecurities related to self-expression and your creativity. The placement may also bring a need for more structure and discipline when it comes to leisure and pleasure. It can be a time of creative exploring of the self-expression, new art forms or whatever that self-expression is. And you may need to work harder to develop your talents and skills, but the effort will be rewarding. The transit can also be a time of increased focus on romance and relationships as you seek to build deeper connections with others. Libra, it's your sixth house. It may lead to a structured and disciplined approach to work and health. but it also may indicate a tendency towards hypocritical or health anxiety. Hypocritical. Hypochondriac. How did I get hypocritical out of that? Maybe you're going to be hypocritical too. Hypochondriac. Oh my goodness. I'm a Libra. I don't ever have those tendencies. So that's interesting. I just skipped right over and tried to turn it into something else. Okay, so this placement can bring a greater focus on health and wellness, and it may require the individual to confront any patterns of avoidance or self-sabotage related to your physical well-being. You may need to develop greater discipline when it comes to daily routines and may need to work on establishing healthy habits. You may need to work harder and take care of your physical and mental well-being, but the effort will pay off in the long run. The transit can also be a time of increased focus on work, productivity. Okay. And you seek to build solid foundations for your career. I have this dyslexic thing where I turn words around. It's like they start coming out of my mouth, and that's my cryon in my fourth house. Anyway, I'm going to do a contest one day that whoever catches all of my turnaround words, that you're the winner of a reading. Okay. 7th house, Virgo. This may lead to a disciplined approach to relationships and partnerships. It may also indicate a time or a tendency toward codependency or unrealistic expectations. In this house, that you may need to confront any fears and insecurities related to relationships and partnerships, and the placement may bring a need for greater emotional maturity, and it may require you to establish healthy boundaries and responsibilities with your partnerships. It can be a time of increased focus on your relationships and partnerships, and you may need to work harder to build strong, healthy relationships with others, but the effort will be worth it. And the transit can also be a time about increased focus on balance and harmony as you seek to create a stable and peaceful environment. Leo, it's your 8th house. It may lead to structured and disciplined approach on shared resources and intimacy, but it can also indicate a fear of vulnerability or tendency towards control. This placement can bring the need for greater emotional depth, and it may require you to confront any fears and insecurities related to intimacy and vulnerability. You may need to work on establishing healthy boundaries and responsibilities in your shared resources, and you may need to develop a greater discipline when it comes to your financial and emotional investments. This is the house of other people's money. It can be a time of financial and emotional transformation, and you may need to confront and work through deep-seated fears and insecurities in order to build a stronger sense of self-worth. Okay, maybe you need to work to build self-worth instead of self-work. Same thing. Okay, the transit can also be a time of increased focus on intimacy and deeper connections with others. Cancer, it's your 9th house. It may lead to a disciplined approach in philosophies. It may also indicate a tendency towards rigidity, closed-mindedness, Yeah, you're going to be on the roll of the dice. Do I close it down or do I open to the spirit world? Okay. Let's see. You know what? If y'all notice, I hang up sometimes on cancers because my mother, my father, my daughter, and my granddaughter are all Cancerians. So when I'm reading Cancer, it's going into like, oh, what's it going to do in my family thing. So if you ever notice that I'm doing that in Cancer, that's why, because it's thrown me into, oh, what does that mean in my world with the people that I know? Okay. Anyway, just letting you all know that whether or not you needed that information. But it may do that with you when you're listening to all of these, because there's people in your life that you know. So it's going to bring awareness into your life about the others and how the others, affect you. Okay. So yeah, perk up on those when it's people that you know that you dance with. Okay, let's get back to this. So, Saturn in your ninth house, you may need to confront fears and insecurities related to your beliefs, and you may need to work on developing a greater sense of faith and spirituality. The placement can also bring a need for structure and discipline when it comes to higher education or travel, because it's the house of foreign travel. Okay, so it could be a time of increased focus on personal growth and exploration. You may need to work harder on expanding your knowledge to explore new ideas, and the effort can be rewarding. This transit can also be a time of increased focus on travel, adventure, and you may explore new horizons. Gemini, it's your 10th house. So Saturn in Pisces in your 10th house may lead to structured and disciplined approach to career and public image. You may also indicate a tendency towards self-doubt or imposter syndrome. Okay? This placement can bring the need for greater emotional depth and may require the individual to confront any fears or insecurities related to your professional identity. The individual, the person you are the individual, may need to develop a greater discipline and structure when it comes to your career goals. And it may need to come to work on establishing healthy boundaries in your professional relationship. It can be increased focus on your career and your public image, and you may need to work harder to achieve these professional goals and build a stronger reputation. But the effort will pay off in the long run, because the transit can also bring a time of increased focus on leadership and responsibility as you seek a positive impact in the world. Okay. Who's in the 11th house? Taurus. It's all about you right now. Okay. So this could lead to structure and discipline approach in social groups, friendships. It may indicate a tendency towards isolation or social anxiety. See, I'm bringing up both the shadow side and the expanded side. Okay. You may need to confront any fears and insecurities related to your social circles. You may need to work on establishing healthy boundaries with your friends and community. This placement can also bring a need for more structure and discipline when it comes to pursuing long-term goals and aspirations. It can increase your focus on your connections in the community. You may need to work harder to build relationships with others, but the effort will be rewarding. This transit can be a time of increased focus on your humanitarian causes and making a positive impact on the world. Okay. Who we got in the 12th house? We got Aries in the 12th house today. You're the last one. Okay, this structured discipline could be approached to spirituality and the perspective. It may indicate a tendency towards self-sabotage and escapism in that 12th house. So the placement can bring a greater emotional depth and it may require you to confront any fears related to your subconscious mind and spiritual journey. Sounds like it's a great time to do past life regressions or future life journeys. Okay. You may need to work on developing a greater discipline and structure when it comes to your spiritual practices, and you may need to establish healthy boundaries with your own subconscious. Pay attention to the talking heads in there. Whose head's talking to you? Okay. Subconscious patterns. This transit can be a time for your own inner exploration of your spiritual growth, and you may need to work harder and confront and work through deep-seated fears and insecurities, but the effort will be rewarding because the transit can be a time to increase your focus on self-care and taking time for yourself to recharge and rejuvenate. It's like it'd be good times to plan some retreats during that time period. Oh, don't plan them, just go be in them. That type of energy in that. Okay, so it looks like I made it through all of it. I made it through all of the energies. So thank you all. Thank you so much for coming to this time and incarnating during these transits and this transformational time here in humanity and the pivot of our consciousness and what that gift is that you're bringing to humanity. Every being, every vibration role is just as important as the other one. It's like there is no hierarchy in the importance of the energy that you're bringing and what that does out into the quantum field and all the parallel existences when you brought your accumulated knowledge in and embodied to be the destiny that you came to dream in. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you. So subscribe, like, do all of those things. I've got some upcoming stuff. I'm going to do a Destiny Code mini series. So I've got to put on here how to sign up on my newsletter, don't I? And how you all can do those things with me. So I'll probably do that on here. I may do it as a premiere. So I've got that coming up and all of the other things that I am going to stop hiding and coming out and bring the energies in. I'm a 6'2" projector in human design, which is here to guide humanity with the shit that I just know. So that's what I'm going to start doing. So thank you all for your love, for your support, and for all my cheerleaders out there that keep encouraging me. Bless you. And thank you so much for being the gift that you are to humanity. Kimberly with Celestial Juju. Bye.